Hello, welcome. I started a little early. Hope that's okay with everyone. Can we hear me? I guess we can hear me. Oh wait, my volume's down. Hello. Okay, I guess we can hear me. Hello, how's it going, everyone on the chat? Welcome to the first stream of 2024 as it is. What? Stop doing that. Okay. So hello, Super Adosky. Hello, Austin, Purple Goop, Al Vasquez, Stuff 196, Scuff 196. That's a cool name. I think I said Austin. Sorry, Zodberg, Cornbread, who has. I did send the tweet. Thank you. I think you sent that right when I was sending it. So great minds, as I say. Hello, Carter Wright, Ramsey the artist, and is a big Carton boy now? What? I'm confused by that. But congratulations on Carton, bro. But anyway, welcome to Movie Crap Live. Hello, where are we? First super chat of 2024, the year of Alf. How is it the year of Alf? I'm confused by that. But that's enough to do two things. One, to switch over. Hello, how's it going? In the usual location, as we are. And sorry, let me move. Sorry, I have to move along. Why Alf? Why is it an Alphaversary? Well, let's make sure Alf is in frame here. Move Alf there first off, and second, I will show off. So I want to say Cornbread guessed. Hello, Nathaniel Foga. Cornbread guessed the right. Hello, Daniel Bergen. Hello, Adrian. Hello. Guessed the right kind of energy drink, but is a cherry limeade. I was actually not sure which one I got, so that's why I didn't respond. Cornbread, I apologize. The Chinese zodiac goes rat, horse, tiger, then Alf. I'm like pretty sure Alf's not on the zodiac thing, but I'll go with it. But anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Thank you for the first super chat of the year. That's early in the show. Cheers to you. It's tasty. I like the Zoya. The Zoya might become a regular. I'll get into that. But anyway, hello. Hey, Will. What is up? How's it going? Will helped me out a little bit with the anticipated movies. Ryan Walterson and Will, which I think are two different personalities, but are good for a film list. I will say that we're both of them. But anyway, hello, JJ Panda. We will talk about all those things, Mickey Mouse, Ren and Stimpy, all that stuff. But yeah, I had a good Christmas. It was a lot of stuff, a lot of craziness, as there always is. But I think I had a good Christmas. It was wonderful. I got two records. I got De La Soul's first album, 3 Feet High and Rising. I'm looking at it right now. That's why I'm literally, it's in my eyesight is where I'm looking, because we have a little place where I listen to records. That's a great dinner album. I didn't know that. I'm sorry, Zane Powers. I apologize. It sucks. Sickness is, especially nowadays. And I also got Gorilla's Demon Days, which I haven't listened to, and a Princess Mononoke sketchbook, which has been awesome. I should have done a haul picture, and days went by, and I was like, I don't know, and then I was like, I felt self-conscious. And a Prince mug. So all around good. And a special mug from my daughter. Hello, Jordan Sleffel. Hello, K-Master. Hello, Sinram. So that was cool. And we saw a ton of movies, and just, I don't know, all was good. I had a nice, there was, crazy stuff and all those things, but overall cool. And you know what, this one part I didn't think of things to say for it. Now I'm like, blah, blah. I saw a bunch of movies. I've seen Wonka, review next week, hopefully. Yeah, wow, I didn't plan this out. Oh, I got I guess I got Old Bay vodka, and that was kind of fun. Hello, Al, how's it going? Oh, cool. Your brother also got the De La Soul album. I'm trying to think any other random things. I have all the other things for small talk, but I didn't Yeah. Okay. Lots of stuff happened. Um, Let me see here. Sorry. I guess I'll talk about. I do have a few interesting stories before we get into the show. I like to have a little. I got a rock. Nice, Austin. Uh, nice. I see what you did there. Um, Before I get into the show, I guess I should do like a little catch up, little what's going on. But I have kind of a couple things. One, I kind of realized last year I did this thing where I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to do hello alter ego, bro. I'm going to do. We're not at the news yet. Hell's upon. I'm sorry. Um, Mickey Mouse will be first. Uh, but I was going to do all these things, and I kind of don't want to do that ever again because a few of those things I haven't gotten to, except for the X-Men season 1. I have like all my notes. I've watched it. I figured all that out, and I haven't gotten to shoot it. So it's that is the exception, but the rest of it, not so much. But the throwbacks I've organized, I figured all that out better, and it's to showcase a ton of my older content, which I think people forgot about. Including the movie Beggars for Life, which actually got into the public domain, was part of a William Wellman film. Way before I was on Pizza Party, I did this William Wellman series where I reviewed. He was basically a classic Hollywood director I liked, and I reviewed every single one of his movies I could find because there's a few that are lost, and that was one of them. And so that'll probably come up tomorrow. And I did, and King and the Mockingbird. But I realized I was like repeating stuff, and I have so many videos. I kind of wanted to do a better job. So that is happening, and it already scheduled a lot of it. As well as I found, makes me feel old, a lot of my student films are turning 20 years old this year. So you've probably seen a few of those in throwbacks before. They will be back just because it's the anniversary year. And I think I'm going to re-release the Dun Dun song, the Strong Bad Dance thing, and the Akira slide as shorts. But I just want to let you all know that. But I have a cooler story than just boring schedule crap. So I will get to it. I'm sorry if you're here and you're like, just talk about Mickey. I think this is a good one. So, Rise. Hold on. I want to get the name of this right. So I was contacted a couple years. Hold on. I want to get this right. Rising in the Sun. 1940, is it 1941? No. Oh, come on. You're fucking with me now. All right. Well, now I want to make sure I got the name of the movie right. So, I just said I did a William Wellman film, Reaching for the Sun. Okay. So basically, there's this movie. This is a saga that's reached on for a few years. I've really told very few people about it. But it's a good story. So I did, this ties into the William Wellman thing. So a long time ago, I wrapped up my William Wellman series, which is basically a series where I reviewed every film I possibly could from director William Wellman. And towards the end of it, I was actually helped out by a friend who gave me a ton of rare, hard to find movies so I could finish the series, which was really nice. But because of that, one of them, Reaching for the Sun, I was contacted by a relative of someone who was in it, and I don't want to say who it was because I didn't ask permission, but I'll tell the story anyway. But he, hello, Fran F. But he contacted me and asked me if he could make me a copy of Reaching for the Sun, and I said yes, but this was before COVID, and just all the crazy, like right before, and all the craziness. I just never got around to it, and I sort of forgot, and every now and then I'd remember it, and I'd feel really stupid, but I never had the time. And he reached out to me before Christmas, and I went, I was like, shit, okay, I have to do this. And so on New Year's Eve, I was looking for a different movie, and I go, I'll just find that too, and I'll rip it. And I couldn't find the DVD, and I was like, damn it, I really fucked this up. I've led this guy on for years. I definitely had it, like I watched it to do a review. And then in a panic, because I was like, oh man, I really screwed this up. This was a major fuck up. I looked it up, and it's on the Internet Archive. And I sent it to him, and he was really happy. So I eventually figured out, I got him the movie. More people can watch the movie. It's called Reaching for the Sun. I'm going to post it in the Discord, and I'll probably post it on Twitter later. It's on the Internet Archive. And so he actually ended up getting uh, the movie in the end, and it's available for people, and I have a digital copy. So it's like, if anything, if you don't get this copy, I could send it to you now. I don't know what happened to my DVD. I should have taken care of it later. It was something I was like, I want this solved, and I did, and it was solved, and that's amazing. All right, so I feel like everyone wants me to move on. I just want to tell someone that story. I guess it's kind of like, look, a nice thing I did, but it's anyway. Reaching for the Sun is a cool, weird movie. All my kind of classic movie friends always refer to it as this kind of crazier movie. It's kind of like very forgotten, but it's hard to find. That's why it's always forgotten. It's until recently. Apparently, it had been up probably right after that guy messaged me. Um, but I'm glad to have figured it out in the end. Anyway, I feel like, is there any other random things? Other thing I'm feeling good about New Year's. I had a really productive few days. Got a lot of projects done. The new Film Rod video cartoon is done. I'm working on other. I don't want to say anything because no one's heard of Reach for the Sun. Don't feel bad if you haven't heard of it. Most people haven't heard of it. You have to be like an extreme dork to hear of it, but it'll be on the Discord, and I'm going to post the link in a few places. I just wanted to tell the story first. But you can see it, and it's on the Internet Archive now, Reaching for the Sun. But I am looking at other distribution methods for that, but it will come out online, I think, in the next few weeks. I'm just sort of figuring that out. But that there is a new one coming out in the next few weeks, which I was working on. Hey, punk guy, how's it going? I am working on figuring all that, and I will tell you more when I have real news to share, not just things I'm working on with that. But yeah, I feel really good about the new year. 3 days in, I'm feeling positive. It's kind of nice. Anyway, let's. I'm doing my own awards thing now. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna just do the spot. I think that's everything. Hello, Green Wing Spirit. I hope that none of that was boring. Maybe it was, but anyway, let's fully before we do this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through the Patreon, which there's a link below, or giving a super chat during the show, and I will drink some of my Zoya, I guess. All sorts of cool, which helps me. Let's start over. I've not seen Ferrari. I kind of want to, though. Thank you, Adrian. Okay. So this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through the Patreon, which is linked below, or if you leave a super chat during the show, and I will read it out and drink my nice fancy energy drink, which should really be up here. I don't know why it's not there. The Patreon has all sorts of cool features, like you get the commentary series, which there's going to be a new one. There's going to be 2 new ones this month, which those have been recorded, so I can say that with some certainty. You get more power in the movie review vote. You get postcards. Sometimes I send drawings of TV that are more personalized, stuff like that. All sorts of cool stuff. It helps me do everything from find new ways to kind of get my stuff out there to using a sound blanket because my wife was cooking and I didn't want to. Yeah, wanted to make sure sound was good, so I've used it for equipment. I use it for all sorts of stuff, and just help me continue to do this stuff, which is always great. And it's always really appreciated if you're financially able to do so. So if you like this stuff and you are financially able to, please do so. And I always really very much appreciate it, especially in these crazy times. If you cannot, just watching the video or liking or even subscribing, you get all sorts of stuff like the various throwbacks, more interaction. You get to know when all my videos come out. But yeah, just liking helps and all those things like that. Also, the Discord. It is a great community. If you like... oh, thank you. Thank you, Alex. If you... blah, blah. If you like the community... Sorry, I'm like tripping up a bit. If you like the community during the live stream and you always wanted to hang out with them and stuff, you can anytime. The Discord is literally the same people. It's run very well by Austin and Zane Powers. There's all sorts of stuff like the licensed playing card thing, which I got new playing cards and I think I might just retire these because I have so many playing cards. I did get some playing cards, and I never want to reveal them because I'm like, that'll be later. And anyway, but but there's licensed playing card channel where I reveal the playing cards I'm always playing with during the show. There's the Ask Jim channel where you can ask me a question anytime. I will get to it. I believe I'm up to date as of earlier tonight at least. So if you ask a question now, I try to get to them regularly. There's general where I answer, where there's a daily question. Usually I post things like, what stories do you want me to talk about on Movie Crap Live, all sorts of stuff. So if you want to hang out with all the cool people in here, interact more with me, it's a great place to go, and it's in the description down below. Also, I have a Instagram, both personal and for all my shorts, which my Carol and the End of the World video exploded recently. It was on Instagram. It was insane. My TikTok, which is close to my Instagram, as well as Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook fan page. Is that all? Maybe MySpace. I'm going to be honest. I have thought about just having a MySpace, just as a joke, maybe. We don't talk about enough. Is MySpace, all the music on MySpace was deleted by accident, supposedly. And like, that's like the most biggest lost media thing. I had like a few bands on there. I thought that was the only way to listen to them. And now I'm like, maybe I should figure out that, I don't know. Anyway, that's interesting. Like all the Knack4 stuff is like saved somewhere, but I knew other bands that, I don't know, maybe they were like deleted forever because of that. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, follow those if you would like to. I'm going to take off this hoodie because it is a little hot. I think things are quiet now, so I might actually, but yeah. All right, let's take this. Last week we watched, Silent Night, Deadly Night. And also, I noticed there's a lot of movies that are having huge anniversaries. All the things from 94, which is like Lion King, Clerks, Pulp Fiction, 30-year anniversary, 20-year anniversary, a lot of cool stuff this year. All of which when I made this document of like things having anniversaries, I was like, for the throwback, I was like, man, there's a lot of movies in there. Anyway, so I'm going to first talk about Steamboat Willie and all the public domain stuff in this one section. So if you wanted both Steamboat Willie stuff, and there will be also, before we start fully, one, I might not do the variety of energy drinks as I'm doing this more regularly, because it's getting hard to find new ones. And I sort of like this one. It's like healthier, so that's cool. As well as, what was the other thing? Sometime, I'm only doing one segment tonight, which is a review of Steamboat Willie. Depending on, because I'm ending up with all these like Movie Crap Live shorts that have no place to go. So depending on the week and how much time I have, I might not do more than just one or something. So we'll see. But Steamboat Willie is obviously going to be longer. So it's you're sort of getting two as one. And I also do plan on reviewing each of the 3 Mickey Mouse shorts that entered the public domain within this month or relatively soon. Maybe some other silent shorts that are sort of relative to that, but definitely those 3. And maybe we'll just continue all the, Iworks Mickey Mouses. That'd be a cool series to do. Anyway, but we'll see. Once a month? What do you mean? But no, we'll see. I might just use the Zoya thing. Oh, I think it can. Never mind. Everybody. Maybe I should. Give me 1 second. I feel I overdid it with something. Give me 1 second. Well, let's just talk about it, and maybe we'll do a mini break after Mickey Mouse. Anyway, so Mickey Mouse, or the first 3 Mickey Mouse cartoons, mainly made by Iworks and sort of promoted by his bud Walt Disney, went into the public domain because after 95 years, it's in the public domain. There are a lot of other things. We'll get to that. But that is, of course, the floodgates of the internet have opened and everyone's making everything with Mickey Mouse. No one's made him suck his own dick, though. So I feel like this whole thing's been a failure. But obviously, there's been slasher films. There's the first one was like a shitty horror game, which that was disappointing. I wanted the slasher films to come out first. I will still be doing unique energy drinks sometimes. It won't just be once a month. It'll just be random, but I like the Zoya ones. Sorry, I didn't mean once a month. Maybe I said that wrong. Anyway. Well, no, so Plain Crazy, the problem is Steamboat Willie is technically got distribution first, Steamboat Willie. Plain Crazy and the Galloping Gaucho didn't get those later. They were like, they tried to release them and get distribution and they failed. So it gets into this weird thing. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. But it was, Steamboat Willie is technically, yes, the third Mickey Mouse short made. But for most people, unless you were in a test screening or something, Steamboat Willie was the first cartoon, just to clarify all that. But so there are 2 horror films. I wouldn't mind reviewing them. To me, it's like that's what horror is, like cheap horror. It's very exploitative, and it takes on chances it can and stuff like that. It's basically like any way to get you to see their stupid movie and make a quick buck. Like the horror genre is made for that. Like Tommy Tubi's job is buying those fucking shit movies. I wouldn't mind reviewing them, to be perfectly honest, at least the horror movies. The one that is in the thumbnail, which his name escapes me, but that's, I think the reason, maybe if you're younger, because you don't fully know the deal with this, and to explain it a little further, Disney up until 1998 kept expanding copyright law. Not just Disney, by the way. Major League Baseball was involved. Every major media company was involved in trying to get this expanded, because obviously they have a lot of money invested in this. I was wondering, like, they're really going to let the Spider-Man rights and stuff. So I'm curious, like, in the coming years, because within the next decade, things like Superman is going to go in the public domain. Wonder Woman and Batman, I think how those are treated will determine, like for example, like what's going to happen to Star Wars, like what's going to happen to these things that are like, Mickey Mouse is a trademark, and they're taking away a certain part. But like if you lose A New Hope, or like even Wizard of Oz, how much money is going to change? Now, I do think the difference now is, you say like everyone can make a Mickey Mouse cartoon, and I'm a little surprised nobody just tried to make just a really good Mickey Mouse cartoon, because that would be the ultimate fuck you to Disney. But like how Disney ultimately can and is winning is they know that you'll just go to them to buy Mickey Mouse shit. They know you won't look at other people, and like same with, like, I think these companies realize most consumers are like, maybe they'll buy a Steamboat Willie thing on Etsy, and yes, they will lose some market capital to that, certainly, but they've already worked on redesigning him so many times that, by the time the 50 ones comes around, they have the newer one that's redesigned and new copyright law and all that stuff. So to me, it's like these companies know, like Warner Brothers knows, you're not going to see the Batman movie that, 2 jerks made and put out on Tubi or Pluto or something. They know you're going to want to see the $200 million one. Now, if, let's say, Amazon, which has a lot of money and can probably get a good director to make their own fucking Batman movie over there, maybe we'll see, that would make this much more interesting. In fact, if Amazon also was like, hey, fuck this, I'll make my own Mickey Mouse series, and it's all influenced by Ub Iwerks, and it's just like that, and we'll have everyone look over the whole thing, and that would be interesting. But Disney kind of knows, like, we're all having fun, but like, you're still, the Mickey Mouse fans are still going to go to them, so that's kind of one of the interesting things about it. But I like that everyone's having fun with it. I am curious about the artistic interpretations that we're going to see. But like the horror movie stuff, it doesn't offend me, because like Disney has made their money off of public domain shit. Like everything from Snow White to Frozen to Aladdin to all these things, they made most of their iconic stuff is public domain. Like they haven't paid for a lot of rights overall, So I think like the fact that they made so much money because of public domain and use that while also protecting it has been this interesting, odd relationship. And I sort of think like they sort of deserve it, because it's like, you guys have used the public domain to your advantage, but also used the laws to make the public domain bend to your advantage as well. It's an interesting relationship. But there was a while that they were considering doing a forever copyright. in the early 2000s, and apparently a bunch of senators, I believe conservative ones actually, stopped it. So they wouldn't let them keep pushing the copyright law, and Disney just let it go. Hope for art house Mickey film that's anti-capitalism. I would like that too. Cheers to you. Cheers to you, Adrian. Thank you. But I'm not. I would like some more creativity. Like I was, and we'll talk about this a little later, but I'll just say it now too. If you watch the Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie, he's like abusing a bunch of animals in that, and I was like, it's funny, like all the horror stuff is like Mickey stabby stab, and it's like if you had Mickey just abusing animals, literally just do everything he does in Steamboat Willie in a horror movie, that would actually be kind of interesting because it shows you how context changes and anything like that. But I don't know. I do hope someone makes something actually interesting with Mickey Mouse. I haven't seen something that I'm like, oh, cool. I've seen a lot of like cool drawings and stuff like that, and I hope more people do some things with that character. And not enough talk about iWorks for my taste. It was he mostly did all of this stuff. I've seen a lot of talk about Walt, of course. That I don't like, frankly. I think deserves most of the credit. In my mind, he did create Mickey Mouse. Walt Disney just ordered him to make Mickey Mouse. But it is interesting seeing Steamboat Willie have this like huge renaissance. It's pretty amazing. Oh, here we go. Will says, I know you're not so much into games, Jim, but now since Mickey's in public domain, perhaps Epic Mickey 3 could happen. Or I could enact my vision anyway. LOL. I love that. Cheers to you. I don't sort of understand it, but I like that your vision is happening well. And thank you very much for the super chat. That's very nice of you. Third anniversary. Wait. Let's celebrate their third. Wait, who's third? I'm confused. Let's celebrate their third super on a live stream? Is that Dan's third? Okay. Well, congrats, Dan. I'm confused. I've never seen that one before. Anyway, with Oswald and now Mickey being public domain, please let someone make a buddy cop movie with them called Oz and Willie. Oh. Ooh. Dan, that's... Fuck. That's really good. I really want that now. Yeah, you could do an Oswald Mickey cartoon. There's so many cool things you could do with it. Someone should do something with Oswald Mickey. I would love that. Cheers to you, Dan. That's a great suggestion. Thank you for your generosity. Zane Power says, what will happen to the bootleg Coke Ricky Mouse? I love it, Zane Powers. Thank you. One thing, and I do actually have one thing I think Disney should do. And I think I'm going to get the short wrong, but I did review it, and it's going to be a throwback next week. But Mickey Mouse, was it Runaway Brain, the horror short? Put that on Disney Plus, guys. Like, now is the time. Now is Mickey's horror time. And you have... Oh, by Alter Ego. You have this great Mickey Mouse horror short. Was it Runaway Brain? I think it's Runaway Brain. Like, they have it. Like, put it on Disney Plus. Like, you'd counter everybody. Everybody would be shocked. They'd be like, what is this? You have it. Like, you definitely have. Do you have it? If you don't, I'll give it to you. But if you don't, hit me up. Let me know. That would be a funny DM. Oh, okay. Cineram says, you'd think that WB would let Mickey and Bugs team up again if Bugs wasn't about to be sold off. That would be cool, actually. They do have the Mickey and Bugs stuff, so... Or they do have the Bug stuff going, so I guess they could bring back... I've heard a lot of talk of Mickey should be the villain in Shrek 5. Like Steamboat Willie should be the villain in Shrek 5, which I would love that. Cheers to you, Cineram. Thank you for your generosity. All right. But yeah, I just think it's like they're been known for their litigiousness for so long. It sort of makes sense that they're getting so much shit for it. So, all right, I want to go through the rest of the public domain stuff because there is actually some cool stuff that went in the public domain. And then I want to take down this. I have a sound blanket thing here. Hold on. Can I hold on? Just because my wife was doing stuff and I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to bother. And it's like, hold on. It's right. I have this whole setup here. Just because I didn't want it to sound bad. And I think it was a little stupid. I should have just not done it. And now I feel silly about it. It's like getting a little restricting airflow. Anyway, sorry. So there are other things, and I want to clarify one thing at the end about things that went into the public domain, because this is actually interesting. First off, the Charlie Chaplin movie, The Circus. Not the greatest Charlie Chaplin movie. It's a good one. It's not my favorite. I've seen it. Passion of Joan of Arc, which is, of course, iconic because of the Godard thing, but also because it's an iconic, one of the great movies. Oh, okay. Clearly, sorry. One of the great movies of all time, as well as The Wind, which is a really haunting Lillian Gish, I believe it's Lillian Gish, silent film, which I really like. The Cameraman, a Buster Keaton short, or no, feature, short, whatever. The Crowd, a great King Vidor movie. You should check out all these, as well as Beggars of Life, which I have the review of. This is the only one of these reviewed. I'm surprised I didn't review The Wind or The Crowd. I probably should. And Steamboat Bill Jr. is on Pluto and Tubi. I scrolled through it. I did not. Apparently, it's not actually. There is one similarity between the two, but I'll get into that later. As well as The Book of Peter Pan, which those rights actually went to a children's hospital. So I was like, maybe we can like let them have the rights because all the money was going to like a good thing, but whatever. And Tigger is now public domain. The one thing, so you probably, if you've heard these reports about Mickey Mouse, they're like, also Passion of Joan of Arc, also this Chaplin movie, also Marx Brothers. And every time I go, Marx Brothers? 95? They didn't have a movie in 1928. What the fuck is that? What's going on? And so I looked this up. Because I was like, what are they talking about? Because everyone kept saying that. And I was like, but there's no Marx Brothers movie. So I want to clarify this because this kind of bugged me. So the book of the Broadway show of the Marx Brothers Animal Crackers, which would later become a movie. So you can't remake Animal Crackers. Although who could do the Marx Brothers other than the Marx Brothers, honestly? Oh, The Man Who Laughs also? Oh, I missed that one. Thank you for that, K-Master. So if people say the Marx Brothers, they mean the Broadway show. So if you wanted to do like a revival or like you have a dinner theater and you wanted to do that, it's public domain. So that's, if you've wondered that, I didn't realize The Man Who Laughed. Okay, that's a reason to find it. I wanted to review it last time, and now I have an extra reason. Well, I like Sitterham's posted a lot of interesting, a lot of anniversaries. That's cool. There are a lot of them. Thank you for man. Some of these I need to review. Most of them all of them I need to review. But anyway, all these things went in the public domain. The public domain stuff every year is going to be a lot more interesting because we're getting into the early 30s. This was 28, right? We're getting to 29, and this is just early sound where they just have certain segments in sound. I will also get into that later, but once we get into the talkies and stuff, that'll be really interesting. All right, I do need to take an early break because I need to go to the bathroom. I want to take this thing down that I feel silly about. And $1 million. Oh yeah, 2004. So Spider-Man 2, The Incredibles, Eternal Sunshine, Fahrenheit 9/11. Jesus. Hey, TuneJ723. All right, so I'm going to take a break. When I come back, we're going to do Ren and Stimpy, the Ren and Stimpy reboot leaks. I hope you enjoyed this part of the show. And I will be right back. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for being here. You guys have been a great audience so far, and I really appreciate it. All right, I will be right back. Hold on. Okay. Hello. Yes, Lego Movie, Boyhood. You're all right. Wow. Uh, wait, what did I say? Anyway. Oh, can't forget. Oh, wow. You know Mind Game well? I love Mind Game. That's one of my favorites, like, of all time. Did I never get to text you about Mind Game? Did we talk about Mind Game ever? Man, I fucking love Mind Game. Cheers to you, Will. Thank you for that one. I forgot about that one. That is. Does that count as 2004? I never thought of it. Is it 2004? I don't. Anyway, I saw that it's American premiered. Man, whoa, that is Jim and Ian favorite. That is a great. That's one of the greatest films of all time. Probably one of the greatest animated films. But yeah, Ian and I used to watch that a lot. That's a cheers to you, Will. Thank you. You surprised me there. That was like end of film school. We were obsessed. Like not. It's like we're watching Mind Game tonight, boys. It was a big Mind Game. Is okay. You caught me off guard there. All right. Um. If you ever see Ian, ask him. Trust me, he'll talk about it. Um. Oh, first SpongeBob movie. I forgot about that. Okay. Anyway, so Ren and Stimpy. We'd heard for a long time there was talks of doing a reboot of Ren and Stimpy, because Viacom has been sort of doing a thing recently, where I'll fix the camera between things, where they have been going back and looking at their old properties and like what they did with Rugrats. They've done it unsuccessfully with things like Fatal Attraction, but Rugrats, I guess, would be the big example, and they wanted to use their other or Beavis and Butthead. I'm sorry, Beavis and Butthead. So with that, they're also looking at other ones, and obviously Ren and Stimpy would be one. Now, this is surprising because you'd think the Ren and Stimpy kind of name had been kind of so besmirched by all the John K stuff, but it seems that they went ahead with it anyway, and there were leaked various images. It looked like it had probably been done in Toon Boom or something. It did not look like the old John K animation. But to be perfectly honest with you, it looked a lot better than the Rugrats reboot. I was kind of sort of into it more than I feel like I should be. But I also think that the thing with Ren and Stimpy is this. We're animation people. We all can joke about John K. And I do think the greatest piece of revenge is that this not being animated like John K would like, because it would annoy the living fuck out of him, is absolutely hilarious. That is something I'm sure he totally hates. But at the same time, I guarantee you that a normal dad or mom or kid from the 90s who grew up with Ren and Stimpy, who sees that it's on Paramount Plus or it's playing on Nickelodeon, which is less likely knowing how trends are going, but they see that that's there and they can watch it with their kids, will. Because guess what? They don't know about the John K stuff. I guarantee it's like the Lasseter stuff. Like, I'll bring it up to someone who likes Pixar and they'll be like, "Who? What are you even talking about?" Most of the scandal, and I'm not trying to demote what John K did at all, but I'm also trying to say they most likely know it is not like Woody Allen. Like Woody Allen, you couldn't really do a Woody Allen movie now and put it out. However, John K, like a couple of people said, Twitter will be exhausting when that comes out. I'm sure it will be, but what will probably happen is it'll be like Rugrats, the Rugrats reboot, and it'll be successful because, I mean, Nick kind of does this is they make shows now where they get the millennials on the side of it, and if I'm picking a show for my kids, I will, or a millennial, I mean, I'm a millennial pretty much, is that they will pick the show that they have some interest in. So it actually helps that show in a way. It works with that. I mean, that's why they put, like, we're watching the show, my daughter's watching the show, Aaron and Aaron, and Alyssa Lelnick, I think, whoever the actress played Alex Mack, is the mom, And to me, it's like, oh, I'll like sit there because I'm like, oh, crazy, she's the mom now. I feel old, but like I have much more of an attachment, and that's sort of what they're good at. And I think that's what's going on here. And they know most people, one of them be like, wasn't there a thing with the creator? Well, he's probably not involved or whatever. Or they don't know. I'm guarantee you most people who grow up with it, watched it in the 90s, haven't seen it in 20, 30 years, will see that it's there and go, oh shit, Ren and Stimpy. I love Ren and Stimpy. In a sense, I think what the log stuff looked fine. Everything I saw that looked fine. What I honestly think this will do, and this is a positive, is this will remove John Kay from Ren and Stimpy. It'll make the legacy more to do with these. It'll like there's less and less percentages of the legacy of Ren and Stimpy is tied to him, even though in my mind it'll never be removed from it. And I do still like those old cartoons. But, I mean, they're not going to use George Liquor anyway. So, Nathaniel Focus says, if it was modern John Kay, it'd look like shit. Yeah, probably. Cheers to you, Nathaniel Focus. So, I don't know. It didn't seem like people were sharing it and surprised. But I honestly think we could see more revival of people dealing with Ren and Stimpy, but I do think like we'll see insane video essays and stuff like that. But it's going to be an interesting period after that comes out. So we'll see. But I do think it's interesting they actually did it. I think most people thought it would fall apart in development, but it looks like pretty like it's happening. So we'll see. I will actually review the first couple episodes of the reboot, much like I believe I did with the Rugrats reboot. And it'll be interesting, but it'll be curious to see, like, much like with Muppet Babies or Rugrats reboots, I think it depends more on if the kids take to it, and I honestly think they would. Like the log and them talking right to the camera is more in vogue now than it was when Ren and Stimpy was very popular. And it is like, it was originally when that, hey, Ace the Wind Rider, when it came out, it was the biggest Nicktoon for the first couple of years. So I totally get why Nickelodeon's like, we need to figure this out if we can. It's got a long legacy. So it'll be interesting. But I don't know, it looked fine. It looked more for the kids than it did for adults, and I think that's where it needs to do. So I like that Cineram's, every time I look at the chat, it's like Cineram's reminding me what movies are having anniversaries. I kind of like it. So the Toho Godzilla, we got sort of an announcement. So Toho Godzilla's in an interesting phase. I forget the era it's called at this point, but we have the animated trilogy, which I didn't like, the Hollywood movies, and we have the Toho stuff, and we had Shin Godzilla, and then we had Godzilla -1. And I think everyone was like, well, when's the sequel to Godzilla -1? I wouldn't mind him and Anguirus, like a different versions of each of the Showa era would actually be cool. And I don't know how you would do that. I feel like Godzilla vs. Kong you'd skip over maybe. But anyway, so they actually said a producer in Japanese GQ. So these are just translations. I could not read the article. I, believe it or not, cannot read Japanese. But he said, I don't feel the need to rush the next live action film. Good films are all about quality. We want great ideas, an excellent script, a talented director, and the right cast to work on it creatively. Another quote he said, which I've seen combined, but I believe is the second one: movies are the power of works. I think that flowed better in Japan, I'm assuming. I want to have a good idea, a good script, a good director, a good cast, and work on it carefully because Godzilla is a character that is worth it. Fuck yeah, you're right. What I honestly think happened is there is so much Godzilla stuff. I mean, just this, in the next 6 months, we have -1, the Monsterverse show, and a Godzilla vs. Kong. And it's kind of like the character is kind of just always around, so you don't need to do that to like constantly make them. But I don't mind, like, if this era is quality over quantity, I'm never personally against that. I think that's a good move. So it sounds like they're taking their time. I wouldn't mind if like every now and then you get a cool director who has a good take on it and you embrace their Godzilla movie. So I think I think it's pretty cool. It's the Reiwa era. Thank you, Dan. But I think it's going to be. I don't know. I'm happy with the era we're in. I think it's a good move. I don't think anyone should be against it. And we're going to get other Godzilla movies. So it's like, you know, I think there's also like so many Toho Godzilla films. It's like you can, you know, watch a bunch of those while you wait. I have been wanting to go through the Heisei era. I keep bringing it up, and you need to watch more of those. As well as there was a Godzilla McDonald's ad, which argues that McDonald's wants to fight Godzilla and Godzilla wants to fight McDonald's because McDonald's makes a giant robot and then goes and attacks Godzilla. I think it's because Godzilla did not want to be in a capitalist commercial and he's fighting back because, like, you know, he tied with Charles Barkley. Could he not take down McDonald's? And why wasn't Charles Barkley there? Charles Barkley obviously works for Subway, so he hates McDonald's. So I don't know. It was interesting. I kind of wish someone done English subs with that because I would have done a review or something of it, to be honest with you, but I didn't want to do like an ugly American thing and go, haha, they're saying this or something. Like I didn't want to misinterpret it. Like you can do that pretty easily. So yeah. Bloxy Oxymical says Paul Blart versus Godzilla when. Also, hi all. I do think, you know, by the way, I do think Paul Blart should come back. I think that would be cool. Cheers to you, Bloxy. Okay, I'm sorry this is the show of me. I don't know. It was a bit of a... I just want to adjust this. Oh, mic. I never want to show my mic, and I always feel like every other internet person does, and maybe I should be like this and be like, yeah, you know, Godzilla, you know, the Ren and Stimpy reboot leaks are everywhere, and be like an internet person. Say like, Mickey Mouse is slashing up the internet, like be like that. But anyway, just be Philip DeFranco, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, that was dumb. All right, let's move on. Sorry. Did I lose everybody after that? Okay. Oh no. Jim ASMR. As you can hear, I'm touching the mic really quietly. You're going to sleep. Don't fart or anything. Just be cool, okay? Just be cool. Alright, anyway. You hate Days of Future Past, Sinram? What the fuck? Are you serious? I don't hate it, but I don't... Anyway, that's a shocking revelation. Why do you hate it? Please tell me... What's up, you beautiful... Okay, so it came out, I believe it was yesterday. These are two quick stories, I guess. Jack Black will be somebody who I don't know. Yes, I'm serious. He's going to be in the Minecraft movie. I don't know anything about Minecraft. My daughter keeps asking me to like put it on her iPad and I forget. And then she's like, why did you forget? You need to do that. And I go, yeah, I should. And then I just forget again. Not because I have anything against it. I need to do that. So Jack Black's going to be in the movie of an app I won't keep forgetting to download. Good for you, Jack Black. I think it's cool. I like the Jack Black-assance, and it's just him returning to movies that made him famous and just not doing the weird indie stuff anymore. That's a little disappointing. But he was fun in Super Mario. I'm sure he'll be great. It's a good cast. All right. Where is he gonna? Oh, so John Waters turned in the script to Village Roadshow for Liarmouth. He said it's finished. He got good notes and everything about it. went over well. So John Waters apparently has turned it in. That's really exciting news, as I'm super excited for that movie. It sounds like it's moving in the right direction. So positive news on the next John Waters movie, Liarmouth. I might actually at some point get the book and read it. I don't know. I'm like half on that one. I'm not sure if I want to do the book. I've never done a book review. So anyway, Sinram with a very generous super chat to clear up the Days of Future Past controversy. I love time travel movies, but Days of Future Past only applies its rules to the villains, and heroes get to ignore the rules and win. I mean, that's true. I will say, first off, cheers to you, Sinram. I am curious. You don't have to answer this in a but I think part of it was seeing a story that I grew up with and I loved being brought to real life. Thank you. That's very generous of you, Sinram. But I do think the difference, because didn't they act like everything changed in Days of Future Past? The story, it ends with like, well, it's a possible future, so that could still happen. Like even in the cartoon, like I mean, because like somebody else gets killed later, it still fucking happens. Sorry, bro. And yeah, and then in the other one, they're like, everything worked out. Am I right? So yeah, but in the comics, it was like, I mean, the Sentinels will probably, something will happen. Don't worry about it. But in the cartoon, because I watched that recently, they're like, I mean, all right. I'll get into Peaches later. We actually have a thing with Peaches. I like Peaches, but it's probably because my kids like Peaches. So I wanted to talk about the box office, and this will be the box office section, because I didn't love the holiday, how the holiday stuff was reported. Hold on, I want to bring up Box Office Mojo and go over. Yeah, no, I don't want. Mojo's like, do you want the year that we don't have weeks for yet? I'm sure you do. So I'm mainly going off of the December 29th, sort of the most recent, but I'm sure they made a little bit more. So one thing, thank you, Marge Rabbit. I'm very proud of it as I going like this. All right. So we actually had a really healthy holiday box office, like an amazingly healthy one. And what was really cool about it is we had so many different movies for so many different demographics. And that is something that should be celebrated, particularly post-COVID. And it was able to get 9 billion, I believe, in America, reach that for last year, which is amazing. We haven't reached past 10 billion, which is what we used to do. Sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the Days of Future Past thing. I will say it's not a perfect movie. Cinderam's making me doubt this movie now that I did reasonably like, but I do like, I was thinking less of it because I watched the animated series recently. Anyway, so, but we're not really back to levels. I have some facts about that are actually interesting. So one thing a lot of box office analysts have said, and I will credit Ryan Scott from Slash Film for bringing this up, is it's not just that we have the big movies, because all the big movies are taking the big weekends they used to. It's that we actually have less movies in theaters than we did before. So in 2022, we had around 400 roundabout. It isn't exact. These are rounded numbers. We have 400 movies. This year, box office is doing better. We had about 500 movies. Do you want to know how many movies we had before COVID in a given year, which put us past 10 billion, which really, these smaller movies do add up to something, is over 900 movies opened theatrically in 2019. So that shows you how dramatic that we're into 2024 now. And in 2023, it was about 500. So we're approaching half of what the box office used to be in 2019. It is that is remarkable. So that it does show the growth we're showing is if we were back to 900, there's a possibility that we could grow further. But the thing is what happened this weekend shows you possibly could, but before this weekend, people were a little iffy on that. Now I want to get to Will's super chat and then I'll say it in order. Will said, I'm shocked more people aren't bringing up the fact that the Minecraft movie is going to be directed by Jared Hess. Oh, that is true, and I forgot to say it. Thank you, Will. Jack Black and his first reunion post Nacho Libre. Also, shout out to Jared's weird animated Netflix project this year. King of America cringe comedy is back. Okay, I should watch Nacho Libre. I saw a preview screening, and it was a little messed up, and it was funny. Also, Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, maybe I should do both those this year. I don't know. It's Napoleon Dynamite's anniversary. Serum didn't say that. We can retire anime. Oh, fuck yeah, we can retire anime. Jesus. All right. Cheers to you, Will. Thank you very much for the super chat. But as for the box office, one of the things I really hate. Look, I've been watching superhero movies since before they were the leading thing at the box office. I will probably watch superhero movies as they're dying their last breath and they're just going straight to Tubi and stuff. It's just a thing I've done. I saw Steel in theaters, guys. Like I'm hardcore about this. So it's just not. It's like I'm ride or die with this shit. However, I didn't. It's just because I grew up reading comics. It was just like you saw the comic movies. That's what you did. However, I hated how on Christmas Day The Color Purple had a really great opening weekend. And not only that, when you read the reports of the 10 highest grossing theaters, there were theaters who were in states I've lived in, like Baltimore, like New York, that I never go to. Not because they're like in areas just I don't exist in. It would take me forever to get to them. So it's just travel wise. But what I'm saying is, like, that's awesome. That's really, really good for the box office. It's just then Color Purple blew up in a demo that we do never serve like we do here and is doing really well with this certain demo. And instead they were like, Color Purple did great. Aquaman 2 bombed. Like, what are we doing? I just don't... it pisses me off because it's like, what we should be talking about box office wise is we are hitting so many different people and getting them to come to the movies. And instead it's like, no, superheroes are failing. And I'm like, dude, why are we talking about, like, I get Aquaman 2 isn't doing well. Talk about that. But like, talk about the positive of like what is going on here. It fucking pissed me off, to be honest. Because when I read the full reports, I'm like, yeah, I know no one expected Aquaman 2 to do well. That's not the story here. Like, the story here is Color Purple. Anyway, it's like, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna see Aquaman 2. I don't know if I'll see Color Purple because I haven't seen the Spielberg one. It's like, I don't know. I think I will because my daughter wants to see it, but that's a whole other thing. But I want people outside of my demo to enjoy the movies. But we had like Blanca really overperformed. It's at 133 million as of this is I guess December 31st. Aquaman 2 stalled at 76 million, made about 100 something worldwide. That's a massive down from that, and it was Aquaman the highest grossing DC anything ever movie. Like, anything based on DC property, Aquaman's the biggest one. I think part of this is also people overdid it with superhero movies and no one wants to see a non headline superhero anymore that they don't care about. And I think Aquaman got to be what he was because it was a big superhero movie year. But I don't think people liked Momoa, but I don't think they loved him like they loved Spider-Man or something like that. Migration actually didn't do great, but I will say it is an original property, and I think any demographics for original properties are so skewed because what was the last one from Illumination? Sing, in a year that was much better box office-wise. So I think, like, to me, I think they're making an investment and kind of understand that it's not going to be Despicable Me big, but we'll see. Migration is only 54. Color Purple is at 44 million, but is doing really well. A lot of this we're going to see legs. I'd imagine, particularly, I've kept hearing, and it seemed very unconfirmed, that they're going to put it in more theaters over MLK weekend. Sure, I hope they do. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyone But You actually did okay. It actually started, like, doing better over time. I still thought that was a bad weekend for it, and it should have come out on Valentine's Day, as did many people, but it's doing well. The Boys in the Boat made 22 million somehow. I don't know how that happened. And Iron Claw, I wish Iron Claw came out at a different time, but it is actually growing and showing real legs, so we'll see. The only thing that's fucking bombing is Ferrari, which costs way too much money, but is still doing well at 10 million. And even things like Boy and the Heron is at 35 million in America. Godzilla -1 is at 45 million. Poor Things is still holding well. Trolls Band Together is almost at 100 million. I don't know. Trolls Band Together is the quiet box office success. It like keeps going, and it went up 10%. Everything kind of got a bump because of that weekend, because I think people needed stuff to do. But anyway, this is like one of the most positive box office things, because the person who's seeing Ferrari is not going to see Migration. Unlike, I'm weird. I would have seen each of these movies. I don't count in this. But like like I'll see if someone's like, "Do you want to see any movie?" I would go most likely. But like except for Sound of Freedom or whatever. But there's options for so many different people here. I think that's awesome. Like the families, Wonka. I think Wonka kind of hit Migration pretty hard. But other than that, like there's so many different options for people. It's actually really cool, and I'm really happy about that. It sort of sucks that 2024 is not going to be kind of a weird box office year, so I think the positivity will probably go away pretty quickly, but it's kind of nice to see that we could be back, and that's nice. Sinram said what? Oh, the Aquaman. Yeah, I wish I had reviewed that, to be honest with you. If I had more time, I would have done it around the Aquaman thing. Thank you for that, Norbert. How's it going, by the way? Um Anyway, sorry. Sidram said, "Don't you think Aquaman grossed 1 million because of Hot Mama?" No, I think part of it was you could watch it and kind of zone out, and it's a good, like, people were super high on superhero stuff at the time, and I think it was like silly and enjoyable, and I think that sort of worked out for it. That's sort of what I think. Cheers to you, Sidram. Will said, "Blame me and my family for helping poison the parts earning. I did see Ferrari 2, though. Man can rest easy." I've heard that. Well, cheers to you, Will. I've heard that one of the reasons. Oh, I should keep trying the time better. Michael Mann is doing Heat 2 is because he knows after Ferrari it's the only thing he can get financed, which is sad. All right, I should probably hurry this up, but let me do this one joke that a couple of people want. Oh, how well do you think Soul, Luca, and Red will do? TuneJ723. I was going to talk about this in anticipated movies, but I'll answer this question. Cheers to you, TuneJ. Of the three, I do not see Soul doing that well. Like, I never see Soul brought up, ever. Luca and Turning Red, I do think, because there's nothing coming out for families till Kung Fu Panda 4. So I do sort of think it could work out for those two, and I still hear kids talk about them. But I haven't seen that much advertising for any of them, so I'd be curious to see, like, I wanted to take my kids to at least one of them. I think maybe spreading them out, because the thing is, like, movies are expensive, and like I have Regal Unlimited, and it's actually cheaper for me to see more mainstream stuff because of that. But a lot of people, it's not. So I think people, if you're an average family, you're gonna pick one, and I think if you're gonna go 1, 2, and 3, Soul is always gonna be number 3. So I think, and Soul's not really like that much of a kids movie, unlike Turning Red and Luca. So I think I think Turning Red will do better based on release date, and because there's a lot of fandom for that, but I think Luca could turn it out pretty well. I mean, I like Soul, but the more I think about it and I watch it again, I like it less and less. It feels like just a weird riff, like it feels like Pete Docter should have waited longer to make another movie. I think it feels too close to Inside Out to me. But anyway, okay. I am probably gonna have to skip over. Man, I had too many things. Maybe I shouldn't have done anticipated movies, but I said I'm gonna, and then we'll do take break, then Steamboat Willie. So a few, I know the award stuff some people don't like. This is just a quick thing. I might do a separate stream just for when the nominations are announced. I'll talk about that more dates wise when we're closer to it. But Barbie, it was announced tonight, actually. Barbie is not going to be competing in Best Original Screenplay, despite that other places like WGA had it in Best Original Screenplay. Is going to be an adapted, because it is adapted from Plastic Dolls, I guess. And so that's what they decided. Everyone says, congratulations to the winner of The Holdovers. I don't know if that's true, but we'll see. And we had two Oscar shortlist things. One was Peaches is not nominated for best song. So like, look, I get people are like, Peaches isn't good, and like I get like the greatest song in history is better and all that stuff. But I think like for the Oscars are dumb, and I don't really care what the best. I don't think they ever pick what the greatest song is anyway. And I'm sure Ken will be an amazing showstopper on the show. But I think it would be more fun if we saw Peaches and then we saw Ken. It would be like that would be a fun Oscars. So to me, like I wanted Peaches to be nominated. I thought it was dumb it wasn't. The more serious thing, and this is really cool, is Spider-Verse is on the visual effects shortlist. Only two other animated films have been nominated in that category, that being Nightmare Before Christmas and then uh, uh, Kubo and the Two Strings. Some people brought up the Lion King remake, but that was whatever. But if it happened, it'd be the first, I believe, visual effects film to do that. That'd be an insane nomination to get for Spider-Verse. I hope it actually happens. We'll see. Will says 9 Days did what Soul wanted to do, but much more sincerely. You can rent that for cheap these days. Solid recommendation for me. Okay, thank you for that. Cheers, Will. Cheers. I think you mentioned that to me before. Cheers. Um, okay. So, some superhero stuff. I will do DC, Marvel, and then maybe we'll do. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. For DC stuff, we learned James Gunn, who is on Threads, not Twitter, but keeps putting out public statements. Which I like James Gunn, but I wish he like. Can you just like work on your movie? I don't need. Like you're not like me. You don't need to remind people you exist. Like you're James Gunn. You're fine. But Superman, he said the Superman suit will not be revealed until he starts shooting. In my mind, like I tweeted it, but that's fucking Comic Con. That's Comic Con. That's gonna be Comic Con. I get it. The Batman stuff. The thing with the Batman stuff that's become a weird thing with James Gunn speaking on it is that is not in the universe he's in charge of, and the Batman's sort of this side thing. And like, is he in charge of it or is he not? I'm sure he's getting the scripts and going over them, and giving notes, but it's sort of this weird half thing where you're like, wait, are you in charge of this or not? And a lot of people, it's sort of rubbing them the wrong way, and I sort of agree with that. So anyway, he said that there's no Clayface and Hush for right now, as well as the Batman and Joker will not have the DC universe that James Gunn's doing logo. Batman will maybe have an Elseworlds one, we keep hearing, and the Joker Joaquin Phoenix sequel will just have a straight WB one. As for the Marvel stuff, I think it was more confirmed that Secret Wars will be split into two movies. It'll be apparently around the idea. It hasn't fully been written yet, so this is that kind of story. It'd be the total runtime of both would be 5 hours, and it would just be Secret Wars 1 and 2. No one's really sure what's going on, if it is really just going to be Kang and they'll recast it, or they're going to bring in Doom. I think, to be honest, story-wise, it would make a little more sense to not just throw Doom. Like, Doom's a pretty big character. I don't really want that just thrown out there. But people keep saying that there's rumors that Coleman Domingo would play Kang. I think that could be cool, and he's a great actor. So I also think the MCU needs to cast like they used to cast, where they cast character actors, not like, I think sometimes they cast a little like name people or like something like that, and they used to like the idea of Iron Man being Robert Downey Jr., but I feel like bigger actor people like that don't want to do that. So anyway, I think Carmen Domingo would be a good return to form casting wise for them. Stephen Young left Thunderbolts. I am under the impression, because a lot of people said there's 4 Marvel movies in 2025. As much as people are like, superhero movies are going down, look at 2025 with a Batman, a Superman, a Fantastic Four, a Blade. Like, it's like kind of crazy. And Captain America, I kind of think Thunderbolts won't happen. That's my personal, I have nothing to go off that, but that's the vibe I've gotten. So that's all the superhero movie news. What was I going to say? I recently learned Monopoly bought the right. No, sorry. I recently learned Lions. It came out this week. Sorry. I'll say this like Weekend Update. It came out this week that Lionsgate has bought the rights to the game Monopoly to make a movie about it, which is crazy because I thought Amazon already had those rights. All right. Okay. Where are we? Okay, I'm going to do two stories. One, I know a lot of people haven't talked about this. It kind of got forgotten, but Vin Diesel is being sued in a civil suit for sexual assault on the set, actually, of Fast Five, apparently towards his assistant. I don't want to get into those full allegations. However, it is interesting how quickly that has gone away, and they reported it right before the Christmas break, so people could not think about it. I think that timing was on purpose. However, I also think, like, I don't know. I do have feelings about that. And I'm curious what's going to happen, particularly because they're wrapping up the Fast thing. Like, what Universal will do if this becomes a bigger scandal. It seems to have sort of, like, people forgot about it pretty quickly. So I'm curious what the full backlash could be. But I was kind of surprised what happened that came out. We also found out the director of Scream 7 finally left. Finally announced it. That deal might have been done for a while, and it just came out after the last show. I hope. I don't know what's happening with Scream 7. They don't have a director. They don't have a star, and I think they don't have the public's interest. I would let that franchise either give the rights to someone else or just let it lie for a little bit after the kind of public beating it just took. Don Hertzfeld said his movie Me is going to come out in 2024. That's probably. Speaking of anticipated movies, I wanted to do this separate from it to bring it up, but I think that's a pretty huge movie news. It's a Beautiful Day, I believe. That's a great movie. And we found Blumhouse and Atomic Monster merger is finalized. And then the last thing was the Yellow Submarine stuff leaked from the Bob Zemeckis movie. Some of that leaked. It looks horrible. I don't understand his motivation to do that because Yellow Submarine... What bugs me about the Yellow Submarine thing, and I want to say this quite clearly, is because of the success of Yellow Submarine, Ralph Bakshi was... Sorry. Because of the success of Yellow Submarine, animated movies could be for adults in the 70s. Because they saw adult audiences went to Yellow Submarine. Yellow Submarine is a major moment in animation and film history. And for him to remake it like he did, it's basically like making a Disney remake. It's a major fuck you. And particularly the design he made with it. And it's like, if you're going to take an experimental, interesting piece that got the public and adults to be into animation for pretty much a decade because of the aftermath of the success of that film, and just go, I can do that better, is like such a disregard to animation and film history that it's like, I'm so glad that didn't happen. I think Bob Zemeckis, the arrogance of that fucking guy is astronomical, that he thought he could do better than that movie. And I'm sort of glad his whole thing failed because he has such a disrespect for the art form to thinking he could do that. But, Back to the Future is still cool. All right, let's get into, this is the most anticipated movies of 2024. I'm going to sort of list off movies I'm sort of interested in. I was helped from this list from my regular guy, Ryan Welchison, as well as Will, because both of them I thought would remind me of certain things, as well as Will would come up with weirder stuff, which he definitely did. So I focused more on the first 6 months of the year. After that, I didn't go through those months as much because obviously those release dates could change. I might do most anticipated of the second half of the year later if I have time during a show. I guess I don't fully have time, but we'll see. Yeah. All right. So here, let's start with the first movie I plan to see, the first 2024 movie I plan to see, which is The Beekeeper. It looks really cool. To be honest, I like to pick a movie I think is fun for the first movie of the year, because when I have my playlist of whatever year it is, anytime I have to arrange that playlist, I always have to see the first movie. So like Megan was fun. I like Megan, so I was happy that was there. I'm hoping I like The Beekeeper. It's basically Jason Statham is a beekeeper and he goes on revenge to destroy these fishing scandal because the fishing scandal convinced Felicia Rashad to kill herself. If a fishing scandal convinced Felicia Rashad to kill herself in real life, I think we should all go against those people. And yeah. Um, we should all destroy those people. That totally makes sense to me. Anyway, it looks cool. It's actually a David Ayer movie, which I'm not a David Ayer fan, but the concept, I like the trailers. There's a Wizard of Oz re-release. It's a Fathom Events thing, but if you've never seen Wizard of Oz in theatrically, it's worth doing. I think we were planning on doing it, but Fathom is a little expensive, so I don't know if we will. But anyway, Orion and the Dark, that is the Charlie Kaufman written animated film, will be on Netflix February 2nd. I'm excited for that. Lisa Frankenstein. I'm sorry, I love this trailer. I love the vibe of this. I really, really want to see this movie, to be honest with you. I never saw Jennifer's Body, and I kind of, maybe I should, because I think Diablo Cody wrote it, but it's directed by Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter. So I'm very curious about Lisa Frankenstein. Turning Red also comes to theaters that weekend, so I'm excited for that. Madam Web is on Valentine's Day. Oh, baby. Excited for Madam Web. As well as Will let me know about this film, Hundreds of Beavers, which looks like a weird silent film where this guy's in the forest. It's like made to look like a slapstick silent film, and he is interacting with beavers and stuff. It looks interesting. Apparently it's going to play in select theaters on that weekend, so I might have to check that out. Will sent me the trailer or told me about it, and I saw the trailer. It looked really cool. Cineram said, I saw Wizard of Oz in 2018. I cried through at least 30% of it. It's a great movie. I actually have a good Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon story, which I'm going to put out. I'm going to maybe do a segment for during a stream around the time of the re-release. It's a cool story. But anyway, cheers to you. It is, I'm not joking. If you haven't done it, do it. You will have a good, I know it's more seen on TV, but you really, really will, you will have a good time. I'm guarantee that. But cheers to you, Cinram. Yes, Madam Web, I'm going to see 100 Beavers. This one I haven't seen many ads for. I'm curious if it's still happening. The Ethan Coen, the other Coen brother, who didn't do, is it Joel or, I think it's Joel or, no, Joel did Macbeth. The other one's doing this film, Drive Away Dolls, which got delayed because of the strike. It's supposed to come out February 23rd. I'm curious if it still will, so I've seen very little advertising for it. Dune Part 2. I plan to rewatch Dune Part 1 before I review Dune Part 2, but I'm still excited, I guess. The Spaceman, which is the Adam Sandler space movie, comes on Netflix on March 1st as well. I'm curious about Imaginary. There seems to be some buzz about that from Blumhouse. I'm a little wondering if this will be the same good year for Blumhouse that it was previously, but it's about like an imaginary friend and stuff. That kind of looks interesting on March 8th, as well as Kung Fu Panda on that day as well. Luca comes to theaters on March 22nd. So if you want to check that out. And then Bong Joon-ho's Mickey 17, which is a weird release date for Bong Joon-ho. I would assume he'd want to do that closer to award season. And again, like not a lot of ads for that. So I kind of think that could get moved, but that's on March 29th. As well as like, I am curious. I like the Ghostbusters trailer. I'm kind of into that. I kind of like the concept. It intrigues me much more than the other one did. So we'll see. And then April 12th, we get Godzilla vs. Kong, The New Empire. That just looks fun. I'm not into If. The two that won't be on here, I'm listing movies. These are movies I'm definitely want to see and stuff. I'm probably going to end up having to review that or whatever. I'm not anticipating it. Same with like, I'm not the biggest... people are always surprised by this, but if you watch my Deadpool reviews, I'm never like enthusiastic too much. So those are two I'm like, I guess I'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see him like fight people from the Fox X-Men universe, but anyway. Oh man, we're gonna run long tonight, I think. Maybe I'll cut this off at I'll cut this off around, how about June? Because I do, well, June, and there's a couple I wanted to inform you about. Well, yeah, we'll just fuck it. Challengers, which is the Luca Guadagnino film with Zendaya. That looked interesting to me. The Fall Guy looks fun on May 1st. But the one weekend, I have questions about this weekend. I feel like someone's going to move on May 24th. We have Furiosa, which that's my most anticipated movie of the year, flat out. But then King of the Planet of the Apes same weekend. Another movie I really want to see, and then also Garfield. I know I was talking about how having multiple movies out at the same time, but that just feels like Furious and King of the Planet of the Apes. Somebody's got to move at some point. So maybe I'll just stop there. But I wanted to mention there's a Transformers animated movie from the director of. Oh, I'll get to. Whoa! We got two. I'll get to these super chats. Let me finish. There's a Transformers animated movie from the director of Toy Story 4 that's scheduled to come out on September 13th. That sounds really cool to me, as well as the animated Lord of the Rings one, which sounds cool also. And then the undated films Coyote vs. Acme, Lynn Ramsey's Polaris with Joaquin Phoenix, Steven Soderbergh's Presence, which is going to premiere at Sundance but doesn't have a release date, and then Robot Dreams, which I don't think has a release date. I'm curious about those as well, and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Now let's do these super chats, and then I think I'll do an Obit, and then I'll take a break. Will says, Hundreds of Beavers is a independent production from my home state of Wisconsin, specifically from Milwaukee. Really proud of us. You should be. That looks cool and original and interesting. So cheers to you. Malcolm Robart said, Signal boost for 2024. Mutual from Norway worked on an animated film called Spurgamunden. From what I've heard from him, it's one film to keep an eye on. Okay. Spermageddon. Spermageddon? Oh boy. Okay. Cheers to you, Malcolm. Everyone check that out. All right. Oh, it said I anticipated thing is Carl the Collector, which was not mentioned in the Saber Sparks video. Oh, okay. I actually haven't gotten to watch that one, but that's interesting. Thank you for that, Austin. Cheers to you. All right. I do want to do the Steamboat Willie review, which will take a minute. So, what was I going to say here? Sorry, just checking everything is good. What was I going to say? Okay. There were some big losses, but I think the one that didn't get enough attention because he died around New Year's was Tom Wilkinson, who isn't done too many good performances. I think Michael Clayton was one that he did a standout for, but Eternal Sunshine was one. He's just a really great character actor, and it's sad to see him go, and I wish he was getting more attention because he always deserved more attention. I think a good character actor does deserve more attention. We should focus on him in general, but he was always one when you would come out, like when I mentioned him that he died, people look like heartbroken, and like I never hear him mentioned anymore, and that's sad. He's a great actor. He was in Green Hornet also, unfortunately, but very sad to hear of his passing, and I think he will be sadly missed. But I think he did some great performances. Eternal Sunshine is going to be brought up a lot this year. And I think his performance will be a big standout. I hope he gets proper tributes at the Oscars and everything like that. I think there are other people, but unfortunately, we only have a certain amount of time. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. And then I will get to a Steamboat Willie review, which will be a longer segment. Then we'll do questions. I do think we'll run a little long. Maybe we won't, actually. Maybe we're shot. Sorry. I'm always worried about timing. I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't be. But I think Margot Martindale actually does get a lot of attention, to be honest with you. But maybe we'll be okay. Maybe we'll be okay. That's what I tell myself every morning. All right. I'm going to take a break. Thank you, everyone, for all your generosity tonight and for being so cool. I wanted to say that off the top and everything. I do have, I say it a bunch of times, but I do have a really cool fan base. It's pretty cool. Sorry if there was someone sending me a Niji Kichu, who isn't here tonight, sending me a movie. It's like, I don't know. I wish I could watch, that's my one thing in life is I wish I could watch more movies. I used to see 4 movies in a weekend. I definitely can't do that anymore, but, thank you all for your patience and just for being cool people. I'm very lucky. Anyway, yeah. I'm going to use the bathroom. Steamboat Willie review. Lots of trivia. Did a bunch of work on the research on this. And then we will do questions and we'll ride it on home. All right. I'll be right back. Yeah, and then we'll do Steamboat Willie. All right, cool. Bye. Or not bye, but you know what, you get it. They're like, yeah. All right, cool. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Um, um, what did you? Okay. Anyway, sorry if there was an ad. I actually didn't hit the ad button while I was away at all this time. That is just YouTube. I guess I'm supposed to because money and things, but I don't know. Anyway, so before I start this, I will say my plan is to review the three first Mickey Mouse shorts kind of soon. I wouldn't mind doing the other early sound as well, so we'll see when I'll do next. And I wouldn't mind doing the Steamboat Willies. I didn't do it at the time, and now I feel like it's a little more relevant, so I'm curious. And I wouldn't mind doing those slasher cartoons. I wouldn't mind doing that, to be honest with you. The slasher movies. Sorry, the slasher. Anyway, I do like kind of slasher stuff, so maybe I should write down those dates. After this, I'll write down those dates maybe. Anyway, you know what? I'm gonna wait. There's probably other super chats. Okay. If there was ever going to only be one segment, it would have to be this, because this is a beefier one, I'll say. But we'll see how this goes. So, Steamboat Willie. I'm going to talk about the movie, the cartoon. Sorry. I'm going to talk about the cartoon itself, and then a lot of the kind of trivia and story about its release, because I think both are equally as interesting. I'm not going to get into the copyright stuff, because you can do that like in so many different things, and I just want this to be about the film itself, because I think it is one of the most important animated shorts of all time, not just because of what Disney is, but also because of what Disney is, but also because of sound, what it did for sound film, what it did for sound animation, and it's the first big Ub Iwerks cartoon that the public really, it's a major Ub Iwerks cartoon, and he's a great animator as well. So this is not the first Mickey Mouse cartoon made. It is the first one to get distribution. They had basically made two, which are Plain Crazy and Galloping Gaucho, I think. And then supposedly, depending on which source you read, either Walt saw Jazz Singer or Ub saw the Jazz Singer. And then and then they decided, because the Jazz Singer is what inspired everybody to do sound stuff at the time. It was all silent stuff until this. But when whomever saw it decided that this should be with sound. But we'll get more into that in a bit. However, the cartoon starts off with Mickey humming a tune. The song, it is a real song. It is not one Mickey or Walt Disney or whomever wrote. Is called, oh, come on, jeez, there's so many things. Where did I put it? Damn it. Oh, Turkey in the Straw. Sorry, Turkey in the Straw, which is what he's like, do 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 do. Okay, do. Anyway, Turkey in the Straw is what he's singing. He's driving the boat. Then Pete comes in. It turns out Mickey is not supposed to be driving the boat. And even his hat disappears as soon as Pete shows up. I wonder if the hat's like... Anyway, you can tell Mickey is being a rascal. Mickey was much more of a rascal at the beginning. Judging by... And this isn't me just giving credit to Ub Iwerks, but it mostly was drawn by him. So, like, if I'm going to do that, it's not one of those things where I'm doing a dumb animation critics and be like, Walt could never do this, and I'm reviewing Aqua Teen or something. But no, he really did all that. But Mickey was much more of a rascal at the beginning, not the safer, nicer kind of guy he's become. And he gets in trouble for doing this. Pete kicks him off, throws him down. The parrot laughs at him. Pete, who is also in public domain, I guess, does a really crazy thing with chewing tobacco, which I was like... some of this apparently has been edited down in certain rebroadcasts of this because it's considered much more controversial at the time. Or later. Sorry, later in the 80s. And then they've stopped doing that in this decade. But apparently, like, particularly all the stuff with the animals later. Minnie shows up because she misses the boat, and then Mickey uses a crane to pick her up by her underwear and bring her on, and then they meet and fall in love. Uh, and then Mickey grabs a cat's tail and plays animals as instruments, including pulling piglets' tails and then using pig's mom's udders as instruments. By the way, seriously though, how are there all these horror movies and no one's just done everything Mickey does to animal? Like, that sounds the creepiest horror movie I've ever seen. The amount of stuff he does to animals. And by the way, the parrot loves all this stuff. The parrot has no self-awareness. It's not like, oh man, I better not like this guy who could clearly turn me into a guitar at any time. He's just like, this is fucking hilarious. Mickey Mouse is playing this pig like it's a saxophone. He's like playing this one animal, which this ship has all these animals. Is it Noah's Ark? What's going on with that? I don't know. They're just all here for some reason. No one knows. But Mickey doesn't care. He's just like playing them all. This short makes no sense at all. It's just like Mickey was kicked off, makes do another thing, picks up a lady by her underwear, and then plays a bunch of animals, like, abuses a bunch of animals and plays them like instruments, and $1 billion empire was born. That's basically, nothing I'm saying is, man, just, wow. But yeah, but Mickey is bad, and eventually Pete sees that Mickey is a huge PETA violation and makes him, peel potatoes. Because I guess people just ate a lot of mashed potatoes then or something. That's always in like shit movies. I'm like, what was going on with the French fry consumption then? I like cornbread thing. Also, birds are notoriously jerks. Because they think they're better than everyone because they can walk and fly. It was the hubris that got to it. Sorry, I don't know why that is funny. So, this is named after the Buster Keaton film Steamboat Bill Jr. Now, of the first, everyone says, like, why do cartoons parody things as modern and stuff? Family Guy's annoying, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Mickey Mouse, literally the first 3 shorts are all takeoffs of modern things. Galloping Gaucho, I should learn to say this right, is taking off of a film by Douglas Fairbanks. Plain Crazy is talking about Charles Lindbergh, and this is a parody of Buster Keaton. Those are all modern references at the time, so Seth MacFarlane isn't as bad, I thought. But Steamboat Bill Jr. actually wasn't that big of a hit, but I think people might have just been aware of the thing. I actually read that Steamboat Bill Jr., the title is a reference to the song Turkey in the Straw that they sing in this. I looked through all the lyrics of that. I have no clue why people think that. If someone can, in the comments of this later or somewhere, explain that to me, I would very much... I'm just confused. If you know, please tell me, actually. But basically why was Steamboat Willie a big deal? First off, it was the film that gave them distribution after... Okay. Yes. So the thing... I did have a tweet that blew up because I made fun of somebody who didn't know that it was... That was not attached to that, actually. I wasn't going to bring that up. So thank you. Anyway, Cornbread. But somebody didn't know that Steamboat Willie was a parody of Steamboat Bill Jr. But there's very little connection. To be honest, I couldn't find one. I kept scrolling through Steamboat Bill Jr., which is on Tubi. Tommy Tubi thought of everything, guys. Don't worry. He definitely bought that up. He was like, Steamboat Bill Jr. is going to be big, guys. We got to get... Or Steamboat Willie's big. We got to get Steamboat Bill Jr. right now. It is famous... By the way, Steamboat Bill Jr. is famous because the famous Buster Keaton gag or shot or stunt where the house falls on him and he's standing in the right spot and he's saved because he kind of goes through the window thing. That is from that movie. So that doesn't happen in... iWorks couldn't animate that one, I guess. But anyway, so what happened at the time was silent film was still kind of the predominant medium. When sound came in, it didn't just like suddenly everyone was talking in movies and there's dialogue everywhere. And they don't really do this in Singing in the Rain and stuff. They're just certain sections of the movies that would have sound in them. Like, have you ever seen The Jazz Singer? There's parts that have singing and stuff, and the rest is pretty much a silent film. So this was just fully had sound within the entire thing. And the movie it played before, Gang War, which is a 1929 part talkie, that had just sections, and I think just an intro that had sound and stuff like that. I've always heard a rumor that there was a ad for one movie that said "Here Bacon Fry," which I've never seen that ad, but I've always heard that story, so I don't know. Maybe it's true. But Gang War is actually, the movie it played before is actually lost, interestingly enough. But yeah, so talkies at the time, like Beggars of Life, which I talked about earlier, had the same thing, where just sections of it had sound because the technology was new. And this was kind of a big deal because at the time, sound was all the rage. And I think Walt Disney knew, as the promotion machine that he was, this would be a big draw for them. And since the only other sound films were the Fleischer thing that used, like, Fleischer invented the bouncing ball technique, which is hilarious because I watched so many of those Disney sing-along tapes that it's funny that they would eventually use a Fleischer technique. And then after Fleischer stopped, but Fleischer did their first one, and Van Buren, another studio that everyone forgets now, tried to do their own one 2 months earlier that was closer, sort of. I kind of want to go into that because I always hear how that one failed, which was Dinner Time, which had premiered in New York 2 weeks before. This premiered actually at the theater, the Universal Colony Theater, which is now, I believe, the Broadway Theater, which is on 53rd and Broadway. It's actually the same block as Stephen Colbert. It's still there. It still has Broadway shows. It actually, The Color Purple, believe it or not, Broadway show premiered there. And Bad Boy Records is like a block up from that, or was. So their history of Biggie, David Letterman, Stephen Colbert, and then Mickey Mouse are all within 2 blocks of each other, which is kind of cool. Unless Bad Boys, I don't know if, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's just say that worked. But yeah, it was Universal's Colony Theater, and because of the success of that, he actually got distribution from what was called, I believe it's Celebrity Productions, which was Disney's first distributor. They eventually, kind of the interesting story of that, I'll get to, but basically the deal is this was a new kind of technology they were using, and they weren't sure how they had some doubt about trying to do the animators how to do a sound cartoon. And even how they did the sound is different because almost the first 3 at least were done, like now when you do a cartoon, you record the voices first and you have designs and stuff, and then you animate to the audio. And at the time, they didn't do that because they just animated it. So it was sort of like this happened to a lot of silent films. Like later they would add sounds. That's sort of what they did. But to test it out, they actually did this cool thing with the test audience on July 29th, 1929. And Steamboat Willie was only partially finished, and the audience sat in a screening room next to Disney's offices, and Roy Disney had the movie projector outdoors, and the film was projected through a window and stuff. And so they wouldn't hear the sound of the projector, but Iworks set up a bed sheet, and behind the bed sheet, this is really cool. I didn't know this actually. They set up a microphone and speakers and stuff, and would literally do live sound to the cartoon. So the first Steamboat Willie cartoon, they were doing like the music and doing sounds and stuff like that, and Iworks was banging on pots and pans when Mickey Mouse bands on pots and pans and stuff, and for the percussion segment, and the other guy Johnny Cannon was doing sound effects as well and doing slide whistles and all sorts of stuff. And Walt Disney did all the voices in this actually. And so like the audience, apparently it went over really well, and it mostly consisted of like I think employees and their wives and stuff, but apparently people really liked this experiment. But the first time they tried sound with it to see if it could work, they actually did it live. Like they did it right there, and with the movie, right? Like that sounds like so fucking cool to me. I'm sorry. That is really cool. But apparently to get this to work, they had to find this goes somewhere. Don't worry. They had to kind of get a sound company, and they were not sure where to go. But this guy who had Celebrity Productions, this guy called Pat Powers, he basically was trying to buy this company called DeForest Phono Corporation. He couldn't, so then he hired an employee and made a clone of that, which is Cinephone, which is what they used to do this. But the interesting thing is he was kind of a notorious guy, and Disney thought he was stealing money. Their business relationship sort of soured by 1930, but because Ub was kind of unsatisfied, the story, the infamous story, which who knows if it's true at this point, that Disney was at a party, someone asked him to draw Mickey Mouse. He handed a paper to Ub and asked him to draw Mickey Mouse so then he could sign it. I don't know if that's true, but Ub wanted to go somewhere. And so when Powers and Disney were ending their relationship, Powers was like, hey, Ub, you can come with me and make Flip the Frog and all your weird cartoons, do whatever you want. And so that severed the relationship. So actually, like, Disney meeting Celebrity Productions, the deal that happened because of this, ended up being a part of what dissolved the relationship, at least for a little bit, of working on Mickey Mouse and working for Disney. And actually, I don't think Ub worked on Mickey Mouse cartoons after this, unless I'm wrong about that. So, yeah, but it was a big sensation because sound was big and it was a fun cartoon. And it was because the only reason they made it was because they got screwed over for Oswald. And kind of after all the deals with this, Disney, much like people do now, and even Prince has said, wanted to own his own stuff because of the deals with Oswald, and made Mickey Mouse and found a way to make Mickey Mouse technologically successful, and Mickey Mouse launched an empire then because of that. So I think Steamboat Willie is a major deal, but it's very much a cartoon of its time. It feels like Felix the Cat. It feels like just a character doing some random stuff. None of it makes sense, but it's a fun time. I have a certain nostalgia for that because I sort of like cartoons like that. I think oftentimes people think it's like meandering and like, what's the point? But the point is, like, you had a good time with it. That's what Steamboat Willie is, It's pretty inappropriate for kids nowadays. I notice kids are like, why is he pulling a cat's tail? Why is he like playing the goat like it's a phono player? They actually do play Turkey in the Straw. Minnie has the music sheets because that's how people did play music then. And the goat eats it, and then she plays it like a Vodafone player and stuff like that. But it, in certain ways, it doesn't age super well because of that. But in other ways, I think it works really well for what it was, and I can definitely, like, knowing the time period, get like why it was so much fun. It does, like, it is pretty radical, and it's fun seeing Mickey Mouse be a rascal. I sort of wish he could do that again, but it's interesting to see how weird and kind of fun Ub was, but also show like how smart it kind of combines both Ub and Walt, because it shows Walt's was always a really smart producer and film executive and understood innovation and how that can work for your company, and timing, which he very much had on his side at that point. I think this was his first example of using timing for using timing to their advantage and understanding how to use a great artist to his advantage, because most of this was like working like a crazy maniac to get this done. It's still a really important cartoon. It's still a fun cartoon. If you want to watch it, of the three, it's the only one that is a restored version on Disney Plus, but it is momentous, and it's a fun little short, and I definitely think you should check it out. If you never have, it's definitely worth a watch, and especially since everyone's talking about it right now and it's everywhere, might as well take advantage of that and watch probably one of the most interesting and most influential cartoons that ever was and probably ever will be. Okay, I think that was good. I hope that was good. Oddly enough, Walt wanted to do any animal abuse after. Didn't want to do animal. I mean, he did do animal abuse after that. So, like, literally, wasn't that in that video I did with the round table? Round. Is it round table? Whatever. Was Kevin and is it the round table with Kevin and Retro Nemo? Anyway, I think that's in that. I forget what video that is. I only worked with them for a little bit. Anyway, All right, so let's get into Patreon questions. I think I did a good job. I hope so. All right, I'm going to say questions below, but I'm going to do the Patreon questions first. We might go a little late, but not too late. That's round two. Sorry. Yeah, I did a video about like Disney's biggest failures. I think you talked about the documentary, the animal abuse thing. Anyway, it was a long time ago. My big contribution was everyone forgets that prom was a disaster. All right. First question is from Nathaniel Foga. Since we're talking about Mickey Mouse, if you had a chance to do anything with Mickey Mouse that wasn't just another shitty horror flick, what would it be? I do think you could do an Iwerks influence short, and I think that would actually be really cool. I think someone should do that. So I think something like that. I think that would be cool. Jordan Bouchard asks, "What are some of your favorite Adult Swim shows?" I would say, obviously, 12 Ounce Mouse, Aqua Teen. I feel like Space Ghost I do and don't count, but I'm gonna say Space Ghost. I did Lucy Daughter of the Devil review recently, but that would be one. I feel like there's like so many. It's like hard because I'm gonna forget one of them. But Metalocalypse, just so many. I don't know, a lot of good stuff. I mean, home movies. Brack Show kind of. Yeah, I think that's a good enough amount. I think. I'll do Austin's last. Cineram, are you familiar with the REM song Night Swimming? Yes, fuck yeah, I am. I love REM actually. If so, are you reminded of that song as I am every time you see the advertisement for the new horror movie Night Swim? No, but that would have been a great song in the trailer. I have a DVD somewhere of all their videos, and that video is kind of surreal and weird, but it would have worked with Night Swim actually. I wish that was I hope that's in that movie. I don't know if I'll see that one. I'm a little like not. It's like not good enough of a concept for me. It's like too suggestive. It's like I don't know. Anyway, Austin says, "Happy New Year, Jim, and great show. I hope you're well aware. My question is, I hope you well. Sorry, let's start over. Happy New Year, Jim. Great show. I hope you're well. My question is, what's the best prize you ever won at an arcade? I used to win these guys, and they were like these orange. They were little guys, and they had like these orange like arms and legs and stuff, and you could connect them all to like this body plate thing. I always loved those guys, and if they ever had them, I would try to get that. So we'll see. All right. Cinerum, I will say I have not seen Beau is Afraid, and I would like to. I would like to do a. Oh, I'm getting two of them from Dom Mori. Hey Jim, I just met Aliaster at a private Beau is Afraid screen like an hour ago. Have you considered seeing / reviewing it at all? I hope your New Year's is going well. First off, the Beau is Afraid thing, I want to review Beau is Afraid. It just kind of escaped me. I do want to do like a best of the year, and I feel like I can't do it unless I've seen Beau is Afraid. I would like to watch and review that at some point soon, actually. Hopefully I do. All right, here we go. Remember what the triplets did to Donald in that one chart? I'm not exactly sure, but Donald is actually not in public domain, which I think is the greatest revenge for Donald Duck. He's having a great year this year. Black Saxon, well, hopes for Paul Blart 3. I mean, I think the Godzilla thing would have been great. Although I wouldn't mind if he was doing, it could be more horror-ish, and he's doing a mall, and the mall is just empty, like a dead mall. That would be interesting. And the people he first catch out are making a dead mall video. I like dead mall, but there's the guy Sal. I sort of like, they're relaxing to me. Cornbread, between this stream and the last stream, I have become a moderator in the Salty DK Dan. Wow, DK Dan Discord somehow. Should I subtly influence my new power with the alpha agenda? Last part is a joke. Oh, come on. You have to do it. Just like bring it up. Be like, you can say Jim made me. I'm so sorry. I mean, I don't know. If he ever does it, I just want a cameo in that video. Done. I know he has said like he likes that I'm so diehard about this dumb thing. My plan was Alf would become Salty DK Dan thing like Garfield is to Quentin reviews. That was like my my game plan, but I don't think that'll happen, unfortunately. So question from Ace or Windwriter. If you had an animal sidekick, what would it be? I'd probably my cats, but Toulouse is asleep, or Buster would probably be a cat. I guess Olive used to be my sidekick, but unfortunately she has passed on. Carter Wright says, thoughts on the Beatles movie called Help? I was never that big a fan of Help, but I have heard better reviews of it in the last couple of years. I kind of wanted to rewatch it. I've only reviewed Yellow Submarine, and I wouldn't mind maybe doing a Beatles movie series at one point, because there's not that many of them. I wouldn't do Across the Universe, though. Just the movies the Beatles are in. Like, I would just do, like, Hard Day's Night, Help, Metro Mystery Tour, and Let It Be. And I guess I have to do Peter Jackson. But I've done Yellow Submarine, so. But anyway, Help was good. I don't know. What is Bloxy Oxowinkle? What is one thing you hope to see out of the Steamboat Willie public domain? I wouldn't mind something interesting, kind of cool or interesting, combined, maybe more availability to some of those old shorts, because like Disney Plus only, I think forever has only had Steamboat Willie. I wouldn't mind if like those old shorts were more available, like if Tubi had them all, or this, I'm sure a company could do that and should do that. Was Nathaniel Fogel, was the public domain a mistake? No, I like the public domain. I think it's good for creativity, to be honest with you. Cornbread, have you been keeping up with the legal situation with the Internet Archive, and have you backed up what you needed there just in case? I have heard about it. I don't know what's there and what's not. I think that guy who did that is a real piece of shit. I hope it is resolved. I have not been keeping up with it, but I'm pro them. I wish I could be help out more, but I should. I'm hoping it works out, and I think a lot of people are fighting for it, and I think it looks better. I don't really want to talk it because I don't really know. I'm sorry. TuneJ723, better Mickey and Minnie ripoff, Milton Mouse and Rita Van Buren, or Foxy and Roxy Merry Melodies? I don't know the Van Buren one. I don't know either of these as well, so I can't really answer. Now I kind of want to, maybe I should do some more of these classic old 1929 cartoons this year. Zane Powers, best dark parody of Mickey Mouse. Presently, well, I did that Mickey Mouse in Vietnam thing, so I guess that would actually be it. So there. Oh, Venture Brothers. Damn it. I knew I'd forget one. Thanks, Game Master, for saying that, though. Question, what would win in a fight, Steamboat Mickey or Winnie the Pooh? Steamboat. I think Steamboat Willie Mickey Mouse is a rascal. He would kick Winnie the Pooh off the boat and watch him drown. Zane Powers, rank all the New York boroughs from worst to best. Best, Brooklyn, Queens. I don't know the Bronx as well, but I'm going to put it third. Manhattan, Staten Island. I don't like fucking Office Building Island. It's whatever. Austin says, since it's public domain in Canada, you can make a James Bond movie in Canada. Should I make the James Bond movie we all want? Fuck yeah, do it, man. I did the Beau's Afraid thing. Questions, Zane Powers. What's the shittiest take John Kay had? Because he certainly had a lot of them. I think the problem with John Kay, ultimately, is I think a lot of people, when they get in that position of being like what happened with Lindsay Ellis as well, when you are like the critic or the animator. And there's certain people like Scorsese or Del Toro or Ebert or even Kale who understand the weight of being the thing and understand what that word means and make big public statements. And even if I like dislike some of them, there's a certain like respect for the medium there. And I think John Kay was less about the respect for a medium and more about how awesome he was. Like, he should have been a proponent of animation, not a proponent of how great he was. But I guess I never liked how he didn't like Tiny Toons. I like Tiny Toons. Cornbread, did you see that one guy who had a pitch for Mickey and Felix, who are both now in the public domain, for a buddy cop movie called Cat and Mouse that came out all this? I didn't see that. Someone else will suggest the Oswald and Mickey thing, which I think would be a cooler idea, but I like the Felix one as well. You forgot Saddle Rash. You're welcome, Jax. Cheers to you, Austin. Getting a Saddle Rash joke in there. Um, um, okay, where are we? Sorry, I'm getting a little tired at this point. Um, wait, where are we? Jesus. Okay, Ramsey Artist, best dark parody of a classic cartoon character in a cartoon. An example, Mickey Mouse. I would say people are bringing up watching Mickey Mouse cheer on bombing in a Ralph Bakshi movie. I'd say that should be that. I would say, yeah, yeah. What's your favorite countdown to New Year's, Nathaniel Foga? Always do the Dick Clark one, but I did. Someone was playing the crazy moments in new metal history. Limp Bizkit doing 1999 sprints, and I remember when that was Limp Bizkit's thing was covering 80 songs as new metal, and that I have certain nostalgia for, to be honest with you. What are your 2 cents on Henry Kissinger? I'm glad he's dead. Question. Red Letter Media wishes movie theaters could have died, so does that mean every cool cinephile needs to also... What? Fucking stupid. You know, let me just say this about... Is that true? Like, I don't... Could someone send me that clip? Because I've seen them sort of give opinions sometimes. I'm like, I like them, but that... No, I'm sorry. What's your favorite theater, Nathaniel Foga? I would say it's the Senator Theater in Baltimore, which I will talk about when I do my Wizard of Oz Dark Side of the Moon thing. It's an interesting story. I'll probably do that in a couple weeks. I like this one. Question. Think Robert Zemeckis will ever make a film people enjoy again? You know what? I think people want that in Hollywood. I'm not even joking. I like really when they were trying to get him to do The Flash, there was a real like executives really do want him to come back, and I don't think it'll happen. I think he like I like Castaway is maybe the last one. Or The Walk has its moments. The Walk like gives you hope, but like everything before they like break into the World Trade Center and do all that fucking stinks. But when they're in the World Trade Center, that is an amazing movie. Like I'm so glad I saw it in IMAX. But it's like maybe the last time he made something. I don't know. I don't think he will. Nathaniel Fogo, favorite year for movies? I would say either 2004 or 1999 because I was like 16 and the movies were amazing. I don't think I'll ever get over 1999 to be honest with you. What do you think is sillier to get up in arms about? Violence or sex? Sex, because sex you can make fun of your jokes. Violence is just stabby stab. Favorite Godzilla villain? I'm very preferable to Mothra, but King Ghidorah is cool. Oh wait, humanity. Sorry, the answer is always humanity. Sorry, or America. Okay. Oh, let's finish this up. What's a comic book you feel embraces its comic book roots? You know what? Actually, even though I shot on Deadpool earlier, there was a Deadpool run where he went back in time and the comics were like comics of that time. That I think got its comic book roots really well. That I don't remember the issues or when it was, but I read it and it was actually pretty cool. As well as the Thor where he just fought a dragon the whole comic. Those are 2 characters I don't really like, but I love those comics. Zane Powers, is it more boring to prop Walt Disney up as the best guy ever or as the worst guy ever who was purely irredeemable? I think he's mixed. To be real honest with you, I think he's a very interesting, very flawed person who I think him and Up were more interested in innovation and stuff like that than being like auteur people. But I think Walt wasn't as creative as people want, as creative like as a filmmaker as people wanted to be. I think he was more one of the great film executives or producers really. Um, Thank you, Cornbread. Cornbread's looking out for me. Zane Harris, what would you do if you were on the Dick Cavett show? I guess I would have a long conversation, to be honest with you. Oh, okay. I had heard they got kind of weird about their. Anytime they'd have to see him, like they saw Star Wars sort of late, and they were like they would complain about it a lot. I don't know. I don't really get complaining about movie theaters, although my screening of The Boy and the Heron was a little awkward. But other than that, like most of the time, I have good movie screens, but I see movies at weird times. I never go at peak times, so I never do that. Anyway, favorite Godzilla human, probably be just all the humans in the original one, to be honest with you. Anyway, I think I got every question. Did I? Anyway, I think I did a pretty good job. I feel good about the questions I answered this time. Anyway, so I think that's it. But I wanted to say I'm finally gonna finish my review of Past Lives. I've been trying to finish that because I said that was my best movies of the summer. I never finished it, so I'm editing that now. I hope that to be out tomorrow. And I think Steamboat Willie will be out this weekend and stuff. And I should be back next week. Next Wednesday. And I should have some cool stuff coming. But I want to thank you all for being here. I believe Plane Crazy will be next week. If that's second. Yeah. And I might do 2 in segments, shorts or whatever, movie crap shorts, even though I guess they're not YouTube shorts. But you know what I mean. Maybe I need to change that to movie crap. Anyway, I'm tired. I shouldn't be talking anymore. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being an audience. Thank you for all the super chats. It was really generous of you. You guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a great audience. Have a good night. Timestamps will be up hopefully by tonight. And get some sleep. And I'll see you all next time. And have a good night and do something cool this week. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a good night and subscribe if you would like to, I guess. I don't know. All right. See you later, guys. Bye.